Aloha, my name is Breath, and I am in fact a breatharian. I don't eat, I don't drink any water, I maintain my life force entirely on oxygen and the moisture that is within our atmosphere. At the beginning of this year, I decided to make a huge lifestyle change. And that lifestyle change was the beginning of urine therapy. I started a strict regimen of urine therapy, and I began drinking about a gallon of horse urine every single day, strictly for medicinal purposes. During this year, I've had such tremendous results consuming the horse urine that I've decided, and I have been thinking about this for quite some time, I've decided to also begin a dung therapy treatment. And I was a little bit hesitant at first because I didn't want to start consuming solid food again after 33 years. But after really considering this long and hard, and almost as though a blessing from the universe, one of my colleagues, Stephen, was able to locate an Aboriginal tribe for me. And I'm just so thankful and so grateful to the universe and to this tribe, because this particular Aboriginal tribe is actually going to allow me to harvest their dung, and then, of course, use it for my medicinal purposes. So, if you go back to one of my other videos, which is titled How to Become a Breatharian, you'll see that when I drank a sip of creek water, I had a mouthful of creek water, my body actually produced about a gallon of urine. People didn't believe me at the time. I think the scientific term for it is something like osmotic hyperretention. And basically what it means is, because I haven't been consuming water for so long, the cells in my body have been retaining as much water as they can, just from the atmosphere and that type of thing. So when I finally do put some water into my system, my cells release that water so violently throughout my body that the amount of urine that I produce is just incomprehensible and basically unbelievable. So as you can imagine, when I began my horse urine therapy journey, the amount of urine I was producing was just, it was crazy. I had to sit in a creek and drink my urine, and I was producing megaliters of urine weekly. So the same sort of thing happens when I'll be going back to a solid food. My body will be producing probably a metric kilogram of feces for every tablespoon of food I consume. And as you can imagine, that's extremely dangerous. I could potentially tear my anal cavity or even rip it open. And I don't necessarily want that to happen. So I consulted with my doctor. I believe in the science, I trust the science, and I do what the doctors recommend. And the doctor recommended that before I begin consuming dung, that I in fact start consuming chewing gum. So I started, yes, that's right, I started eating. I had my first stick of chewing gum 3 weeks ago. What I do is I chew the chewing gum until the flavor's completely gone, and then I swallow the gum. And I'm consuming roughly 4 to 5 packets of gum every day, and there's about 10 sticks of gum in each packet, so about 50 sticks of gum a day. And I have been on the program for about 3 weeks. So I think I've ingested roughly 1,200 sticks of chewing gum today. As of today, I haven't been keeping count, but I would say roughly about 1,200 sticks of gum. It's amazing. What it does is it creates a seal in the small intestines. It coats the stomach and creates a coating on the stomach and the small intestine, and then it moves its way all the way to the anal cavity and actually creates somewhat of a gasket around your anal hole. Basically an airtight gasket, so nothing can escape. So when I do finally consume food, I won't be having to worry about gigantic turds. For those of you that, if you're thinking about doing this and you do get gas, if you've got regular flatulence, that type of thing, I would suggest potentially getting some sort of sharp object like a bobby pin or maybe a safety needle, and when the anal cavity does in fact become sealed up, it's like a rubber seal basically, just puncture a hole in that rubber seal and that will allow the gas to escape. I don't flatulate. I haven't flatulated in probably 30 years. I can't even be around flatulence. You may have seen another video of mine where I share the horrible and tragic story of my sister. So if I get just a whiff of a flatulent, I'll have a psychotic breakdown. So I don't go anywhere near flatulence, but I know a lot of you do flatulate quite regularly. So I would seriously recommend just puncturing a hole in that rubber seal that is created on the anal cavity. That way gas will be able to escape. So going back to this Aboriginal tribe, and I just cannot say how grateful I am for these people. They're a beautiful mob, and the fact that they're allowing me to harvest their dung is just, it's an honor and it's a privilege, truly. I mean that from the bottom of my heart. I'll be basically consuming about 1 tablespoon of Aborigine dung 3 times a day, and I won't be, in fact, ingesting that dung straight raw. I dehydrate the dung, so I collect the dung and then I put the dung into a food dehydrator, and that completely evaporates all the moisture within the dung. And then they look like brittly. If you've ever left a dog feces out in the sun for a week or two and it begins to go white and kind of crumbly, if you pick it up and do this with it in your hands, it kind of turns to dust. That's basically what this Aborigine dung does after being dehydrated. I call them bunji nuggets. So what we do is, once I've got about 400 or 500 bunji nuggets, we'll put them into a coffee grinder. We'll press the power button, and it will turn it into a dust, and that's basically dung dust. It's completely organic. It's 100% Aborigine, and I then put that dung dust into gelatin capsules, and then I consume about 3 or 4 capsules every single day. I will be selling Aborigine dung dust, completely organic, at Aloha, so please check it out, aloha.com. This stuff will change your life. But just to recap, when I check in a month from today, I will be still continuing my urine therapy and consuming roughly a gallon of horse urine once a day, and I'll also be consuming roughly three tablespoons of Aborigine dung 3 times a day. So I just wanted to share that with you all. This is a health journey for me and also for all of you watching. I cannot recommend that you try this. This is not medical advice. I just recommend that you follow me and perhaps take a page out of my lifestyle book, and I'll catch up with you, and I look forward to seeing you all in the next video.
My name is Giga-Breath-Lord, and I'm known in my tribe as the Aborigine turd burglar and bunji nugget enthusiast. So if you've enjoyed this work or any of the other videos on the channel, go stop by Aloha Etsy store, where you'll be able to find 100% organic, non-GMO Aborigine dung, bunji nuggets incorporated. Aloha.